What are some things that you think people don't know about herbs?
I don't think people realize what herbs really means, first of all. Most people, when they hear herbs, they think of like stuff that you cook with, like your parsley, sage, rosemary, that kind of stuff. Or they'll think of like weed, marijuana, stuff like that. Herbs, I feel like, is in some ways kind of a miscommunication because when we talk about herbs medicinally, medicinal herbs are really anything, like any kind of a plant that grows that is, of medicinal value or has health benefits. So, like, it can be anything from tree bark from a white oak tree to like the ground up shell of a black walnut, like any of those things, like, cinnamon even is, the bark of a tree. So, any of those things, like, it can be the roots of a dandelion, any of those things are all herbs in the medicinal sense. And so that's the first thing. The second thing I think is also, like, I don't think people realize how easy it is to use herbs. And being an herbalist is something that anybody can do, on a small scale. Anybody can go out in their yard and pick a dandelion out of the ground, dry it out, and make tea out of it. Anybody can do that. And it's just, some things are just as simple as literally crushing it up, putting it in some water, and straining it out to drink it. I mean, it's not that complicated at all. And it's not like some science where you have to, create some kind of a brew, like a witch or something, like putting all kinds of crazy stuff in there and saying incantations over it. It's just literally going out and picking plants and making stuff out of it. It's as simple as that.
And tell me about when you first started learning about this. What was one of the things that got you interested?
Well, I think dandelions was one of the things especially that caught my attention, because Dr. Fritchie talks about how dandelions are so, they're so demonized in our culture. Like every kind of pesticide has like a dandelion as its target, like they show commercials on TV of like Roundup and they spray the dandelion and it dies, and it's like everybody claps because it's so great that you can kill the dandelion. But dandelions are one of the most healthful things and one of the most abundant things for us, and a person could live for weeks off of dandelions no problem, because they're so nutrient rich, and they have a lot of healing properties too in the roots and in the the leaves and everything. They're good for your kidneys. They're a lot of things. You can make tea out of it. You can just eat the greens, like, and it's just amazing to think that I can walk out into just about anybody's yard in America and be like, hey, can I take this weed out of your yard so that I can make medicine out of it? I think it's just very shocking to learn that it's that easy.
So what's one of your favorite herbs to use?
Favorite herbs? Well, like I said, I like dandelions because they're easy, but I don't know, that's a good question.
What are some of the things that you find most when you go in the forest foraging?
Dandelions, and I find blackberries, and
You've also brought back me some onions.
onions are everywhere, especially in Georgia in the South. Wild green onions are really easy to find. They just look like grass, but literally you can dig in there with your fingertips. You don't even need a shovel, and you can just pull out green onions like you buy from the store.
So far, how does the taste of wild grown herbs, vegetables, and berries compare with the taste of those you find in the supermarket?
I mean, it definitely depends on what it is you're looking for, but usually wild stuff is going to be a lot better, more flavorful. A lot of times it's more earthy, but I really appreciate that and I like that because it doesn't taste like it's been, had all the flavors taken out of it for the sake of making it bigger and prettier. Especially like your wild berries and stuff like that. They've been sun ripened on the vine and you just find them growing there in their natural habitat. so they're going to be a lot more better suited to growing there than they would be in a garden. And so they're going to have a lot more of that natural flavor and just richness that you're not going to find in things that are grown on a farm.
Thank you.